This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
We've all felt completely terrorized by this.
Tonight, allegations of sexual assault outside an elementary school in View Royal lead to the apprehension of a 21-year-old man. Also ahead,
They have that high.
Ferry workers being heralded as heroes.
High level of competence and confidence.
Ferry workers heralded as heroes after a pair of recent rescues puts the spotlight on first responders. Plus, Adam finds out how a Victoria woman's daily exercise routine was transformed into an unexpected animal rescue. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The 21-year-old man has been arrested in connection with an alleged sexual assault against a child at a schoolyard in View Royal. RCMP investigators have been canvassing the neighborhood around Eagleview Elementary since the allegation came to police September 16th. CTV's Yvonne Raymond has more.
Neighbors around Eagleview Elementary are in shock. A child under the age of 12 has reported being harmed by a stranger while playing outside the school after hours.
Shouldn't happen.
As neighbors and as parents of kids at the school, we've all felt completely terrorized by this and really thrilled to hear that there's been someone caught and arrested.
West Shore RCMP say the child was playing alone Monday evening between 5 and 6:30 p.m. when a man allegedly approached her, exposing himself and touching her in a sexual manner. Officers say the girl got away without any sign of a struggle and got help.
Very brave little child who definitely did the right thing, told a trusted adult, and then they came forward to the police.
RCMP arrested a 21-year-old in connection to the case after police canvassed the area for witnesses and any video surveillance. BC Prosecution Service says 4 charges have been laid, including sexual assault.
The big tragedy here is that, this child's has to deal with a lot of stress and pressure that comes out of this. The family has to deal with the trauma that comes out of this along with the child. But we definitely threw every resource that we had at it, and I think that added to the fact that we were able to get somebody in custody fairly quickly.
Police and the school's principal are encouraging parents to talk to their kids if they haven't already.
It's given us a good opportunity to speak about awareness and our surroundings and speaking up.
You can make sure that you have a plan in place. What are you going to do if something happens to you? Are you going to, if you're in the moment and you feel like you can't get away, like yell and scream and create a ruckus essentially.
The child's identity is being protected.
Really thinking of the victim and how brave they were coming forward.
Anyone with information who hasn't already talked to police is asked to call West Shore RCMP. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, View Royal.
CFAX 1070 host Al Ferry has been arrested on child luring charges. Court records show the veteran broadcaster is charged with 1 count of telecommunicating to lure a child under 16 and 1 count of telecommunicating to lure a child under 18. Vancouver police tell CTV News it initiated an investigation in September 2024 and that Ferry was arrested in February 2025. Bell Media was not previously aware of the investigation until today. Ferry has worked for CFAX since 1994. The radio station is owned by Bell Media, which says Ferry has been suspended pending the police investigation. Practice sure did pay off for BC Ferry's crew members who jumped into action to rescue passengers who went overboard on 2 separate occasions a couple of weeks ago. And as CTV's Andy Garland shows us, a lot of that practice was done in a simulator.
Well, the smoke float indicates the location of the individual. We've just now put the rescue boat into the water.
We're inside one of BC Ferry's rescue boat simulators, which are placed at 12 of their terminals, where ships launch rescue boats.
We're one of the only maritime organizations in the world that has incorporated simulators into regulatory training specifically for rescue boats.
4 crew teams from the deck department on board every vessel make up the rescue boat squads. They're trained to respond to any emergency on the water that requires rescue boats being deployed.
Regulatory drills are done once a month by each watch. So for a 3-vessel ship, we would be doing it 3 times a month.
From lowering the ship to detaching it from the hoist system and finally launching the boat to the rescue scene. The simulator gives crews a safe, controlled space to practice virtual rescue scenarios in any kind of weather condition.
Build that muscle memory so that when they're doing it in a real-life scenario, they have that high level of competence and confidence.
The competence and confidence paid off just a couple weeks ago when, on 2 separate occasions, when a passenger on BC Ferries went overboard.
How ready the teams felt and how competent they were in their successful marine rescues they completed.
This is the fleet's simulator hub located in Nanaimo, the heartbeat of BC Ferries safety training. More than 450 officers are put through difficult scenarios right here.
Simulator can mimic any ship in our fleet.
And one of those scenarios is responding to an emergency that requires rescue boats being launched.
They need to slow down the ship, they need to organize the rescue boat, they need to coordinate and make a lot of phone calls, so that can all be practiced in this sim site to support rescue boats.
And just how vital are these simulators? BC Ferries say their crews were called into action 15 times last year. Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
While many of us were enjoying summer vacation, BC Ferry staff were hustling, servicing a record number of passengers. The ferry service says between May 15th and August 31st, it carried 9.4 million people and 3.7 million vehicles. It's roughly 2% more than the same period last year. BC Ferry says despite having 572 mechanical issues during the season, it managed to see a slight improvement to the timeliness of its sailings. It says completing maintenance projects before the summer and hiring hundreds of seasonal staff members were a big help. The 7-month transit strike in the Cowichan Valley is finally over. The union representing transit workers says they're now working on a return-to-work process after months on the picket lines. In a statement today, Unifor announced both its members and employer Transdev have agreed to a set of recommendations from provincial mediator Vince Reddy. Those recommendations are expected to be released within the coming weeks. Victoria's mayor and new police chief gave an update today on the city's implementation of its new community safety and well-being plan. Launched in July, the mayor says the city has now hired 4 of 12 new bylaw officers and hopes to recruit the remaining 8 soon. On the bylaw front, the city is working to establish community safety hubs throughout the core from where a variety of resources can be dispatched, including officers and community support workers. Finally, the plan comes with a major focus on the 900 block of Pandora. The fencing will come down, and the city is looking to find more spaces that can be utilized to shelter the homeless, getting those living on the street into more permanent housing.
We made the commitment years ago when we started thinking this through that we weren't just going to blindly move people, because there's no point in that. You're just displacing people into other areas and not making any change. So in order to make the change long-lasting, we have to make sure that there's places for people to go, that there's supports when they get there, that there's a way for them to get there, and there's a way for us to sustain the spaces that are now open for use by everyone.
On the policing front, Chief Fiona Wilson says her department is committed to working with the city to improve safety on the streets throughout Victoria, and says that begins with funding secured from the province.
We were very pleased to receive additional C-STEP funding so that we can continue on with the increased bike enforcement through the downtown core. We have a number of, as I say, initiatives that were outlined today with respect to supporting that plan, given that there is a significant enforcement piece of it.
The city expects to have phase 1 of its community safety and well-being plan rolled out by the start of the new year. Nanaimo RCMP, along with Vancouver Island Crime Stoppers and Bar Watch, have just launched a campaign raising awareness about spiked drinks. The launch was held at Carlos O'Brien's yesterday. 30,000 beer coasters have been printed displaying 3 different messages about spiked drinks. And on the back of every coaster, there are tips on how to avoid having your beverage spiked, as well as what you should do if you suspect you've been a victim. Posters were also developed displaying similar messaging.
to be alert and watch for the possibility of it. Protect your drinks. Don't accept open drinks from people you don't know, etc. So it's just messaging to be on the lookout for potential problems.
I think any awareness that we can raise is important and valuable. I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, and I would want my kids at 19, 20, doesn't matter, whatever age, to know to be careful.
The coasters and posters will be distributed to drinking establishments in the Harbour City that are in the Bar Watch program. Well, folks looking to add a modern touch to their aging photos or antique home videos will now have the ability to do that in the heart of Esquimalt. Introducing the Lab at the Esquimalt branch of the Greater Victoria Public Library, a user-friendly workspace that provides memory collectors and analog media lovers with the necessary equipment needed to convert their old photographs, home movies, or audio cassettes into modern digital copies. The self-serve, easily accessible Media Lab is open to all members of the public with a valid library card and a little time on their hands.
This is an opportunity for us to provide our community with the tools and the technology and the support to preserve their personal memories, photographs, slides, audio tapes, all sorts of things that they can convert for perpetual access.
Library staff will be on hand to help provide users with in-depth information on the state-of-the-art technology. Bookings for the lab are now open and can be reserved either over the phone or in person. Staying in Esquimalt, where the notoriously ripped-off Ribfest has quickly gone from theft to thriving. The Esquimalt Firefighters Charitable Foundation says the kindness of community has made up for the nearly $2,000 worth of donations that were stolen from their charity Ribfest earlier this month. It all started when a volunteer worker spotted the scam after noticing someone was using 3D printed tokens to fraudulently buy beer at the annual fundraiser. Now, thanks to some help from the Sasquatch Heat Pumps Company, the local charity is getting their dodged donations back.
I think more than anything, the fact that someone would steal from a charity is a bit demoralizing for us. But what turns the tables 100%, 180 degrees is the fact that the community stepped forward like this. So days like today, when we get a check from Sasquatch Heat Pumps, and when we're able to recoup our losses plus and fire that money right back into the community, these children's charities, it makes a world of difference. It makes you feel pretty good too. Right?
With more than 40,000 visitors, officials from this year's Ribfest say they were able to successfully raise over $90,000 for community-based initiatives. 19 degrees, beautiful sunshine. Josh will be back after the break with the full forecast.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises, customizing dream vacations with unbelievable value. Call or learn more at expediacruises.ca.
West Shore Youth, looking for a fun spot to hang out? Youth nights are here. Skating, art, swims, and a place to chill. Staff-led and supervised for a safe, inclusive vibe. Check out wspr.ca for more info.
Well, Josh, it is not yet Friday, but the weekend is coming and it's still summer out there.
Should be another pleasant day tomorrow. We do get some increased cloud cover, though, and a chance of some showers in some spots, some steadier rain just in time for the weekend. There's tomorrow, though. You can see lots of sunshine from Victoria off to the north. We'll get some increasing cloud as the day goes on in northern parts of the island, and by Saturday morning, some steadier rain rolls in. You can see that sticks around for a good chunk of the day Saturday and then starts to push south. Tofino could actually see some really significant amounts of rain, maybe 50-plus millimeters worth of rain. We'll see some heavier pockets of rain through inland areas as well, especially later in the day Saturday. And by Saturday evening, we'll see some of those showers push through the Victoria area. In the north, 18 degrees, increase in cloud tomorrow, and then into the mid-teens with rain in the forecast for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Steadiest rain should be Saturday. It'll back off to scattered showers on Sunday, and then it intensifies into Monday and early Tuesday. 24 with mainly sunny skies for inland areas tomorrow. That's 3 degrees above average, but then all of a sudden you're 3 or 4 degrees below average with that rain moving through on Saturday. Looks like some spots could see maybe 10 to 30 millimeters worth of rain. 16 and a mix of sun and cloud Sunday, and then back to some rain on Monday. Out on the west coast, sunshine and 18 degrees tomorrow. That heavy, steady rain through the day Saturday. High of just 14 on Saturday. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks Sunday. A little bit of a break there. And then some even heavier rain potentially for Monday. There could be maybe 70 to 100 millimeters worth of rain for parts of the west coast on Monday. In Comox, sunshine 22 tomorrow. And then a chance of showers with a high of 18 on Saturday. The rain won't be as heavy and steady as it will be in other parts of the island. 17 and a mix of sun and clouds Sunday, so a little bit of a break there for the end of the weekend before the rain returns on Monday, and a high of 16 in the rain on Monday. In Nanaimo, sunshine, 23 degrees. That's a handful of degrees above average tomorrow, so nice and warm to close out the work week, and then a little cooler for the weekend, a little cloudier as well, with that chance of late day showers on Saturday, maybe some late day showers on Monday as well. In Victoria, 10 degrees tomorrow morning with some fog patches through the morning. That'll burn off by mid-morning. We'll get sunshine for the bulk of the day. Temperatures up to about 23 degrees, 4 degrees above average. 20 on Saturday with some evening showers. And then back to a little bit of clearing for Sunday and a high of about 18 or 19 degrees. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Mexico looking to strengthen Canada's bilateral ties amid rising trade tensions fueled by Donald Trump's new tariffs. CTV's Judy Trin is in Mexico City with more on what's at stake.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is using this bilateral meeting with President Claudia Sheinbaum to reset a relationship that had been previously sidelined. Today, the two signed a comprehensive strategic partnership. The emphasis on strengthening ties with Mexico comes as U.S. President Donald Trump begins the process of unraveling CUSMA, the North American Trade Agreement. Last year, Canada did $56 billion of trade with Mexico, and Carney wants to boost that number. The Prime Minister is meeting with President Sheinbaum one-on-one. The leaders will discuss more cooperation to combat the trafficking of drugs, guns, and people. But the focus will be on building up their economies. They will also have a working lunch with top ministers, including Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, along with Dominic LeBlanc, the lead minister responsible for U.S. trade negotiations. While the leaders talk about increasing trade with each other, it will be a conversation in the context of Trump's desire for a new North American deal.
They will be discussing their approach to the possible renegotiation of the CUSMA, but I think they're going to walk a careful balance in that they don't want to appear to be ganging up on the United States on this.
After their 4-hour meeting wraps up, the Prime Minister will hold a reception for Canadian business leaders who want to expand into Mexico. Judy Trin, CTV News, Mexico City.
A reminder from the Mid-Island today that wildfire season isn't over just because summer is nearing its end. The Port Alberni Fire Department sharing videos of a fire near Roger Creek. And while the fire is close to Port Alberni, the department says structures are not threatened. The BC Wildfire Service says the small fire is under control. Coming up, caught on camera. Adam finds out what happened after a Victoria woman's exercise routine was interrupted by a creature in the ocean. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
It's the Great Grocery Giveaway. Would you like a $2,000 smile card from Thrifty Foods? Today's code word is butter chicken. Text it to 71010 for your chance to win. Standard rates apply.
Finally, Adam finds out how a Victoria woman's exercise routine was transformed into an unexpected animal rescue mission on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When she started walking along the breakwater, Catherine Dabrowski's sole focus was moving forward.
To get exercise, how many steps am I going to do? How much weight am I going to lose?
But everything changed that day. She was startled by a sound erupting from the sea.
Whoa! Oh,
before noticing it was made by an animal way bigger than she'd ever seen before.
It looked like a hippopotamus, actually.
After struggling to capture the creature on camera that day, Catherine changed her perspective the next.
I started looking down.
And was rewarded with not just realizing her mystery mammal was a Steller sea lion, but seeing there was a whole family of them to film.
I was exhilarated, I was excited, I was addicted. I wanted to get more.
And she did. Every day after, Catherine filmed countless other creatures.
And I felt like an explorer. I felt like this is National Geographic.
She also felt surprised that if she was observing an octopus, nobody else seemed to be seeing what she was seeing.
So I thought, you know what, I got to show the world what's here.
While Catherine started posting her videos on the Instagram account Ogden Snaps YYJ with the hopes of inspiring others to feel wonderful, she never imagined she would one day feel petrified after discovering this orphaned seal pup in peril and calling animal rescue for help.
It was so scary. He told me to go for it. Just grab the seal and not worry about the claws and the teeth.
Catherine says she was given permission to carry the pup to the safety of this crate before it was flown to the aquarium for treatment and eventually released back into the wild.
Amazing. Amazing.
Catherine says it's also amazing that after 2 years of switching her focus from improving her fitness to connecting with nature, she's feeling healthier and happier than ever.
Not even aware of the exercise part. I'm just so into what I'm doing. I'm in heaven here. I'm in heaven.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.